What we've seen so far in the crypto space has mainly affected the financial sector, right? Because it was the most obvious use case of blockchain technology, where instead of having a middleman like a bank authenticate transactions or verify identity, you now like send all of that processing to a blockchain, which automates it and does it for a much lower fee. And it's completely trustless and open for everyone to see. So that was the most obvious use case of blockchain technology, which is why we saw DeFi apps proliferate way quicker than anything else in the space. But if you look at social media companies traditionally, they are in a way very similar to banks because they're centralized institutions, very opaque. You have no idea what they are doing with the assets they own. So for a bank, the assets they own is basically your money. For a social media company, the assets they own, which is very valuable, is the user data. And that data is very valuable because they sell that data to advertisement companies who then know who to advertise to best. And it becomes a really terrible feedback loop in a way because users' data is being used by social media companies who sell it to ad companies who then advertise to these users. So the social media company needs to ensure that you are on their platform and used, and all of your attention, as much of your attention as possible, is on these platforms, which is what makes it so useful and valuable to people who want to market to you, right? And that relationship itself is very, very detrimental to both producers or creators as well as the consumers, because producers get a very low take rate. Most of it is taken up by the social media company for not doing as much. They're not accruing, they're not creating as much value as they're accruing, while at the same time the users are constantly bombarded. They're stuck in this kind of feedback loop of information, which the algorithm or whatever thinks is useful information to this person, but they kind of just get siloed into like a stream of information or news feeds that they'll never really be able to break out of, because that's what the algorithm has decided is that you would give most of your attention to and engage the most with. So Web3 social media companies or Web3 social media protocols kind of want to break that system entirely and make the relationship between creators and users way more mutually beneficial, right? Instead of having a platform in the middle accruing all of the value while not creating as much value as they are accruing, right? So if we can summarize, the current ad-driven model, it kind of forms a walled garden around content created on these platforms. So there's no composability, and users are kind of stuck on the platform they use, and they can't take all of the, like an influencer, for example, can get millions of followers on Instagram, but they can't take those followers onto another platform or can't use whatever they've created on Instagram on another platform because Instagram owns that, right? Which is kind of crazy because it should be the creator who is in complete control of whatever they have created, and they should be benefiting the most from their creations and not some intermediary platform, right? Because it doesn't take that much to create a platform. It just takes a few coders and the platform is online, and then they're just accruing value at a crazy scale just because of the network effects created by the platform. So users and creators are stuck in this really, really negative loop, which has accrued value over the last decade only to these big tech companies.